Hello and welcome to another week in our garden. Lovely sunny day, birds are singing. Bit of a frost this morning, hopefully, touching wood, that's our last one for this season. It was a bit of an air frost, it wasn't a real ground frost as such, but as I say, let's hope that's the last one. Now I want to start this week, as you can see, in the fruit cage, because some of the raspberries are beginning to creep out of the lines, so we need to lift them before they start growing too much and put them back into the lines. I'll show you here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a broad line of raspberries and put another post here and let the raspberries sort of come up between the posts. So that means these here need moving into there. As you can see, some of the new growth that's come through has actually been touched by the frost, but they'll be fine. All you need to do is, I'll use this little fork, and they won't be very deep I don't think, and just tease them up. I'll take that one as well while here. They're usually on a runner that comes out there. If you can get the runner, you'll get them all. There you go. There you are, look. There's a little bit of root on that one. Looks like the same again. The roots are there on that one. We won't break it off this lump. But these, let's have a look at you. Nice big worm there. There you can see the runner coming along, and then all the shoots come off it. Okay, we'll replant those. The actual runner is just there. So if we can get that up. That's the actual runner that's come off the main. So we'll take that out. I'll throw it over there for now. This one. Have to loosen it a bit. Well, yeah, well, that one I'll take. It's got a good bit of root on it. This one, we've got the runner as well, like. Yeah. It's quite a beast. All these pieces like this will still send a shoot up, so they can go with it. There's two of them, so I might have to fork that a little more. I think we need to go in here and try and break that runner. I'm sure I've got it this time. There it is now. There you are. There's the whole of that runner. But we don't want this piece no more. It's not doing any good, I don't think. No. So we'll take that off there and just plant that bit. I might be able to snap it. There you go. So that bit, we'll let that dry out and put on the fire heap. We don't want that. That's what's caused the problem just there, I think. So let's get the as I say, that's the new line I'm going to keep. So if you put one or two in just here, and some in that gap there, we should be alright. Let's put this big one in here, get rid of it. Just push them in. I don't think they'll, probably not fruit on these this year, but they will next. And we'll just fern that in. That's it, put them back where they belong. This one here is borderline, so we'll leave that one for now. We'll put those in here, 3 together. Put all 3 in. 1, 2, 3. We'll pack them with the soil. Pack them over. I'll just press them in a bit. This soil's plenty wet, so it won't want water. Now this will create a big wide line of raspberries. With the other frame up, a lot of them will come up between, and then it'll be easy to tie up. Because these are the later flowering ones, when they're finished we'll cut the lot down, so if you put them inside the box they'll hold themselves up a lot better. This side of the primer canes back into line. I do believe it's going to rain all day tomorrow, so it'll do them the world of good. On the other side there's just one I need to move, but I'll do that later because we need to get some planting done today. So we'll make our way down to the bottom of the garden and we'll get some brassicas planted and some beetroot and some onions. Now I've been busy this week. I've put all the mesh covers on the frames. I've planted quite a few up, but then always left a few just to do it with you. This one, if you can remember, is what we grow Brussels sprouts in. I do 20 plants and 2 extra in case any of these don't quite make it. I have been watering, as you can see, and if any don't make it I can just move 2 of those 2 spares across. What I've left is just 3 plants still to go in. That one will just want a bit more out the hole. The holes have been watered, but we have actually had a shower or 2 of rain today as well, and there's a big rain coming in tomorrow, so it'll do the world of good. Nice little plant, good root on it, and what we'll do, we just pop him in and send him down to the bottom of the hole. And then remember, these are Brussels sprouts, so they really need to be tight. If you imagine that great big top we're going to have, it wants a good root. If you get one like this, it's got a little bit of stem, make sure you get that stem in the ground. So we'll make that hole just a little bit deeper. That's better, look. Just put a bit of good soil in the bottom and then in it goes. Can you see how it's a little bit deeper? And then it'll hold it up nicely. If not, you'll find it'll fall over and keep growing, so you'll have a big bend in the stem of the Brussels. Let's put this other one in. Again, looking at the plant, it needs a little bit deeper hole. That's it. Can you see, look, it's a bit long, so we'll do exactly the same. That's those 3 in, so that's all the Brussels sprouts planted. and apart from hopefully just a little bit of hoeing in there, they'll look after themselves now. If it gets really dry, I'll give them a drink, but they're very deep rooted and the soil was prepared with the goodness underneath, so they should look after themselves. I'll put the cover back on, which is not to keep the insects out because there isn't many about this time of year, but the pigeons would love to have those. This end of this little section, I'm going to put the beetroot. In this side I'm going to put the bolt hardy, and in this side the cilantro. So we've got two different varieties in this one little piece. I'm going to share the net, hence the double hoops. So I just need to finish this end, and we'll just pull this net over and leave it over so I can finish it later. These are the bolt hardy. We've grown from seed in that greenhouse, and they've been in that mesh cold frame for about 4 weeks, so they've had some frost on them over that time. I have another tray like this, but I'll get this row finished and then we'll go on to plant some cabbages. We'll plant with the bulb planter like I do most of these, and all I'm doing is I'm taking about there. Now remember, you don't have to go so deep with these, obviously, what you do with the cabbages. So just a nice little hole like that, and then the soil I put next to them and crunch it out a bit. So we'll do down the road, look. Just enough. It's very sticky soil, this is, with it being raining, so I'm having to push it out of the... So we'll get, if we go there, then we'll get one more in there. They look well spaced, but most of them will probably be taken while they're small anyway, and then we'll let the main ones grow on. So if we go there, that should be alright, I think. But round here, it's not so much the pigeons that have your beetroot, it's the sparrows. They absolutely adore them. So you have to be a little bit careful with beetroot. It's weak rooted, so whatever you do, if you can help it, don't grab that and pull it, because this will give way down here. So get it out as gentle as you can. In again. Remember, beetroot, you don't need to really press that root tight, not like you do the brassicas. They'll root away nicely, just keeping them a bit on the loose side. Again, look, take it on your hand, don't take the top, and it goes, and just secure it more than anything. So 2 more. There you are. Got a stone in there, no, don't want that. There it goes, nicely in, and then just bring the soil up, and just enough to hold it up like. They'll root away in no time at all. So one more. Let's take that one if we can. There it comes. There it is. So straight in the hole, throw that stone. There you go, look. Nicely in the hole. Just gently round. Now I'm putting 3 rows to each hoop. That's the first row. I've marked the other 2 with a label. But I shan't plant any more today because we've got the Brussels. Brussels are in, we've got the cabbages and the cauliflowers and the onions still to do. So now I've just popped the net on, but I've pegged it right round just to stop the sparrows going in, so we can get something else done to show you how far we've got. Now this is another one of the mesh tunnels. In it I've got the minicole cabbages and some cauliflowers. There's only 3 of each left to plant, so we'll get the side up and get it done. In this bed I've started planting the cabbage minicole, which are these. Now I grew some last year and I'm very impressed with these minicoles. They grow very quickly and they are, as they say, very small cabbages, but very, very nice. So we just popped 3 of these in. Same as before, using the bulb planter. I'll just pop them in and then I'll plant all 3, save me bending twice. So remember the brassicas, so they need to be firm. Hi. Hi. Hello. And the brassicas, so they need to be firm. So we've got them in and now I'll tighten them up and press them in. Nice and tight. Now the ground here was prepared for brassicas. It's got manure deep down, so the roots can really go down and get them. These are the cauliflowers. I forget what name they are. We'll pop the name on the screen for you. But they're not big, so I can grow them a little bit tighter. I'd sooner have a small cauliflower than a big one that's going over. So in the go-nut, I'll do the same again. And in the go. And tighten them up. Make sure they're nice and tight. That's it. I'll just rough round with my hand. I've got a glove on today because I cut my hand quite bad, but that's another story. That's the cabbages in, minicole, and the cauliflower. It's a summer cauliflower. It doesn't get awfully big. And I've also put 2 plants in of each as spares should we lose 1 or 2. That's that tunnel all pegged down nicely. Same again. And I might have to lift it once more to weed it. And if it gets really dry, we'll give it some water. Now next to the tunnel are the broad beans, so I'll just show you the progress. It looks like they want weeding, so I shall have to take the tunnel off maybe Sunday and give them a good weeding and break the soil up, and maybe a little bit of base fertiliser on them. Again, they've been stood out here in all this frost, and especially the east wind. Very pleased with them. Now I'll just show you putting a few onions in, and then we'll have a look in that greenhouse. This is the onion bed that we prepared. We double dug it, put in lots of manure in the bottom spit and then a little bit more on top spit. Dug it well, broke it down, and it's all ready now for planting. The onions that we grew from seed are in there. These are Red Baron, so I just want to put 3 or 4 in. Over the weekend I should probably fill this whole bed with them. Now distance wise, I'm putting about halfway up the planter, look. So if I put it there and I can make my hole there then. Now these are in liners, so you need a little bit deeper hole obviously, which is like that. Wobble it round so the hole stays open, hopefully. There you are. Now the soil for these I'm putting into this bucket because I need the soil to put in the fruit case to help balance one side up. So any of the soil from the bulb planter that we're doing quite deep, I'm taking up and putting in there to fill that hole up. With it being raining for a few days and the soil's a bit heavy anyway, it doesn't give up very well, you see, so I find it easier to get a stick and just give it a bit of a... So I'll do one more and then we'll get those. You can sometimes press it, but with my having poorly hand. There you go. And then we'll put these in. As you can see, they're not bad. They'll do. You can see the red bar and you can see the red bit at the bottom. And then we just turn them out. They're ready, look. Once they get in there, they'll soon settle. These have been in that cold frame for at least 3 weeks, so they've had all the frost etc. already on them or around the cold frame. It's just been as cold in there as what it was in the morning. So like the Brussels and the other Brassicas, perfectly alright to put out. Now remember, don't put your onions too deep if you can help it. What I look for, I'll get one that's got plenty of red on it so it's easier. I tried to get it with that little bit of red still showing at the soil level, and you have no problems because they will sort of self-adjust anyway. Let's take this one out. There you are, it's ready, really ready, look. I'm quite pleased with them being in that cold frame and then coming out. Now I'm pressing down to make sure it's at the bottom of the hole. Any stones I throw in there as well. I'm pressing them down so there's not an air pocket at the bottom of the hole that we put in. There you are, it's ready. And same again, look. In it goes, and then I take it to the bottom of that hole, and then remember this soil will shrink back a bit anyway. I should do it line on line at that distance, but I shall leave a good gap between the rows so I can hoe down them. If you get them too tight, you find that you just can't get in even with an onion now. So give yourself plenty of room so you can hoe down. Let's go in that greenhouse. It's getting a bit cloudy out here. Yes. Now we just popped in the greenhouse to show you how congested we are in here. So once we start planting some of these plants out of the cold frame, some of these, especially like the celery, which is getting quite big, that can then go in the cold frame in the day, move it back in night, bring them back in night. Peas and beans etc. are absolutely flying away. This was a very late set I did, just in case, so they'll not be long behind those. I've potted the begonias and the busy lizzies into larger pots so we can just keep them that little bit longer. And as you can see there, the tomatoes are really romping away now. All the courgettes and the squashes all coming up now nicely. These are the lettuce, turnips, and they are, where are we? That's the lettuce. This is kohlrabi that's coming nicely now. It's drying out a bit in the day, but that's no problem because I should water it first thing in the morning, first job. Now that'll be it for this week. So from a very congested greenhouse, it's an absolute nightmare to water, but I get there eventually. Next week might give you a little bit of a tour to see how everything is doing, and we'll fill some of the pots that we're going to put on the courtyard with the bedding plants, etc. But that's next week. That'll be it for this week. Thank you for watching. Many thanks for subscribing. We do appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you next week when all the frosts are past, and I bet it rains. Bye now.